What you're looking at is not a wet room. Okay, so we're now, since this plywood was put down in July 2017, my mates are taking the cover open because it's daylight. I can show you the black mould, and it's just what's making me ill. It's airborne and it's getting throughout my flat, and it's not a wet room. So that concrete blip, I mean, they need to, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Well, I do, and I don't, because it's been a saga for over 1 year and now about 8 to 9 months left like this. And I'm the only one affected, but the problem is the design of this is not suitable for my needs anymore. I know this, but thousands of other disabled people in the United Kingdom is not able to get anywhere else safe to live to meet their complex medical high personal care needs daily, with a living accommodation. And the only option, the only one I've seen, was not an option, but there isn't any options really, is assisted living model. And I've checked that out, and I do believe tomorrow's offer of a hoist service, a hoist at the moment, it's in the corridor. It's placed on this floor, but during the night, because it's so damn cold right now, it's kept in the hallway overnight. Now, you can't believe that this company, it's a Home Group Limited, national head office in the UK. I know what's all behind it, by the way. I'd had sudden illness, now it was witnessed live on Facebook with my daughter-in-law at the time. That's all been factual evidence, documented what happened and how it happened. Eventually I did get the door repaired because the police had to break the door in. I lost all function in my body, and this is what has made me, my experience of the past year dealing with the cutbacks in the adult healthcare in my area and individuals. It's made me look at the situation really differently, sort of thing. So again, I will get the same questions. Again, I'll get the same response as I did last July 2018 by certain Millbrook Healthcare Limited Company employees in my area. And if you don't know, they work with, well, funded, I should say. And I am absolutely constantly ill at the moment. I have ulcers in my neck, glands, throat, mouth. Because no matter my friends try to open the windows to air the place out, it's so damn cold. I can't have that because I'm so cold, because I need the central heating on, as well as it's just a vicious circle. Because it's lower ground level, the heat doesn't rise. It's not like I'm on a second level flat, but if I was in a more different type of living environment, would it be any different? I don't know. But this is, I've offered to move out, by the way. When eventually, up until I got ill, 2017, that time leading up, I didn't even know that the lady before me, many years ago, she could have been the reason why she moved out. You see the black and the zoom in on the corner of this concrete area. So it's like a rubber black seal. It should have been raised high to the tiles to stop all the water leak. And that's what's caused all this. The water leaking under the floorboard. Under this floorboard is much blacker than this colour. And it's split now right underneath. It's this wood. So I had a former friend of mine, I don't know what's happened to him now, but anyway, a Russian friend he's got contacts and DIY. All of this could have been the wood replaced, and it would only take 2-3 days. And underneath is like how he described it. He's been doing a lot of I don't really know about different cultures and stuff, but anyway, I've learned a lot from him, thank goodness, because it's helped me to look at the situation differently. And he was able to get my hallway temporary, at least much better, and did a lot for me, and I really appreciate that. But he's got a partner and he's busy with his new job and stuff. But the main biggest thing, he gave me that insight, which I couldn't see it before. And I knew this would only cost in UK currency about 600 quid for the wood. And then you got the labour on top. But it's not just that, because of the statute law in UK, it works for disabled people, right? They have to look at this as a, especially with so much regulations and so much cutbacks, and the national models for, it's not just housing, because this is the problem these housing company employees have got. They're not, I don't know anybody else experiences my situation, but they're not clued up on your disabilities, your high care needs, and the medical equipment. It's very, it's like a hospital here with the amount of equipment and things I've got I need all the time. So I said, for example, the former social worker I had before she left a job, and someone else, she just got no clue. I do no disrespect, but she has got no clue what I'm going through, no experience of my situation I'm going through. So I said, I know it's not good to be washed out buckets in my bedroom, and try to have my hair washed in the kitchen sink, because that is really killing my spine. And when they manoeuvre my wheelchair type shower chair commode, it's absolutely so extremely difficult. And the plastic sheets, these big white cover, not white, they're blue. They have to cover over under there. They took it away at the moment, so it shouldn't help me do this video. And the other ones have to cover over near me. Is like, when you have extension legs on your equipment as well, it's really is a health and safety issue, okay? But as they extremely trained, my private life friends, in personal care and what they have to do in their jobs as well, because they work. So I've been trying to see if I can get the official, I don't know, I've been through so much, and so many others have, others too. I'm hearing so much negativity in other people I know about, and they're telling me about their mum stuck in hospital and not getting the care and things and stuff they need too. And I'm living in the community, they call it, and I can't get nothing that I need. I have never denied the lawful offer services that I require, and that is linked up to not just housing, it's adult health, social care. It's just, your situation is absolutely, completely different. Everyone's is, but they keep pigeonholing people like me, and tick boxing exercise, computerization, and profit before human rights, profit before equality, So, in England, NHS England Limited funded CCGs, clinical clinician groups, contracts this private company. It's just one. Like there's others as well, but this is one. And how long now? 2010, so it's about 8 years. I've had so many different reports, occupation therapist reports. Nothing's changed in the use of the equipment. Thing that's changed is my personal health. So that was what could be offered. Because when I get so ill, it's difficult to get, my friends are struggling with the hours and what I need help with. And snow, I can't get out. I can't do this, that and the other, and there's other stuff, personal stuff on top. So it's not just a question of like finding a house to move to. It affects every damn little thing in your life. So it's like relying on disability benefits, housing benefits. Everything else is affected. In all due respect to these ordinary frontline staff, you know, they got no clue how it's affected everything else. It triggers everything else off. And there isn't no longer what used to be known as housing floating support service. That used to be years ago, but it's all cutbacks. It's nothing. I've been trying to get that in place for a long time. So that could assist me for people I could build up trust with, to sit in on meetings to try and help me with all this. It's a big job. And assessment, housing needs assessments, has all changed. Well, again, this is just one area. That's a Homeless Reduction Act 2017, implemented last year. And yet the risk is difficult because they can't just put you in a hostel when you have medical needs like mine. They will end up in a care home. If there isn't eventually a place where you can actually move to permanent places with the housing, medical needs, equipment needs, everything else. It does take time. And it's a slow process. So in when you got these men and women in the jobs, private companies or NHS funded or healthcare professionals, they have to go on in their job role as adult health, what's it called? Adult safeguarding. Okay? Now, it can be a multitude of things in their eyes. So they won't know you, they just look at your paperwork on their computer systems and they will just make assumptions about your situation. So unless you rebut things and put things correct the best way you can, whatever method that might need to be, they have to get your consent before they assume, make assumption of anybody, of the individual as a safeguarding concern. And I don't get me wrong, I think it's a good idea what they put in place, but they need to be doing it honourably, full disclosure and lawfully. So I know too well how all that works now, and who's in my area, for example, and who's who and stuff like that. I've had to learn that quick. It's taken a while. So moving forward, I can't stay like this, I know this. And the fact is, I know I've been still ill, and my mate's done the best they could yesterday, like changing my net curtains, kitchen curtains, putting thicker curtains up, getting ready for this, if God forbid we get the snow. But in here they can't put the thick curtains up, so no point, because it's it would just collect the air of this mould. Whoops. And they have to still use this main toilet, and the old, you see this old, it's not old, but what I suppose it is since 2009, they won't take away Millbrook Healthcare Limited on the website, national website. It states no longer need to take away. This is like a toilet frame. Initially, before I got my neighbour, I needed this equipment and purchasing stores and other stuff, minor OTU equipment. But now I can't use it. They should take it away. Last May was going to happen, July 2018, and it's not happened. And yet I found out today's website, on the national website, they're meant to have done that. And in my area, they just can't be bothered. Because these men and women, a lot of these men, basically technicians, they work at home and log in online. So they're going from job to job, they haven't got a space in the back of the vehicles. It needs another vehicle to come out to collect, and that needs to go through. It's like a review of an OT assessment or a new fresh one. So the last one I had a long time ago, fair due. And this was 2013. So with all this effect and lack of loads of people in the United Kingdom accessible housing, it's not just housing which the adult health, social care, everything's all interlinked with it. And if one even moves, literally I found out yesterday, up the road, say assisted living model housing, it's like with others similar situation, but that model is completely different. It's not independent, it portrays, and it is not independent, so you do not get any, I can't even tell you what the red tape's involved, but the thing I've got to look at, with thousands of others as I'm getting older, and fortunately the health is not going to get better, one's got to look at those options, you know, the longer term. And what will happen, this guy tomorrow, he will, well, my mate's going to stream live, and I'm not going to get him on camera, just his speaking probably, but I have to protect myself, because what happened last year, they put out this, they took pictures of all this, and it's affecting behind here into the kitchen area now, all that black underneath into the kitchen floor, and I don't report that, because if I go to the I don't know what department they call it, environmental health, they will condemn this flat, they will condemn this area as a health safety risk to me. It's not structurally unsafe for people living above me because I'm on ground floor, but every single bloody OT report I've had rejected by this housing company, employees in my area. We can't do these or that. These are minor little things, not like this. These were minor things in the hallway, but since then I found out it was just deliberate to get me moved out. Well, it doesn't add up, you see, because I found out that this was built initially and worded in such paperwork and documents as adapted for disabled people with needs, you know, disabilities. And yet, now with all the statute laws changed, if there's a fire in this block of flats, I would not get out, because I know I can't self-care in the way I used to be able to, in a minor, you know, little things I used to do, be able to do, and now I'm restricted in what I can do, a lot more now. So when I got to read that document and a lot of videos and stuff for the past 18 months about the risk, fire safety around the block of flats in this outside the corridor, they have all this, it's not in, if you're blind, God forbid, I wish I could learn software, how to get these videos of mine for those that's got disabilities, you know, sight, hearing, whatever, because I don't know how to do all that stuff yet, technically wise. Anyway, it's not even geared up around here for that. So you might have a lifeline and a key safe, okay? But the actual trying to get an ambulance, you know, with the trolleys, if God forbid you end up in one, out around the bends and the corners in the hallway, let alone the communal doors, it's serious, it really is so seriously dangerous and difficult for them. And they manage it eventually, but that's a problem I've experienced. And it's put me, added stress on me. The staff do their best. The frontline staff, the really crews and stuff do their best, I'll tell you that now. And it's those that are funding. Excuse me. So what I've tried before I got so ill was get a copy of all of these 6 blokes I've had in over the period of time, and did all these assessments and all this. I've had Mighty Property Services Limited, contract company for this area. I've had serious, you know, not serious, what they call the jobs, roles, whatever titles they've got. I had 2 blokes I've never met, and they're area contract managers. They all have never, ever, ever, ever still produced a document, a report, what is going to be offered. So, verbally, I was going to have the back of the retile the wet room, that's a concrete area, so they took the lino covering up, so they're going to redo all the ceiling, water, black seal, raise it up higher, and redo the tiling. Okay, then they were going to redo the tiling underneath here, and they were going to do the tiling behind here. And when they said, this isn't a wet room, I was absolutely shocked. I didn't even know what wet room was meant to be looking like until I looked it up. Of course, I didn't need one when I got, before I got run over, ended up in a wheelchair. I didn't know. Never had a wet room before. Never ended up in a wheelchair before. I've learnt the hard way. Really, really negligent. Serious effect on my personal health, all this. Serious ways that thousands of other families and young kids are going through worse as well. Not just perhaps they have disabilities, but serious situations might be going through as well, in housing disrepair perhaps. So I took them on, this National Housing Company. CEO, head office, Newcastle. You name it, I done it, and basically they failed negligently to not produce any copy evidence of omission of their negligence, because they knew full well I've got a claim of a high multitude to High Court to bring. But the fact they're relying on me to get worse in my health so I don't pursue it, is that's what they're using. They're using the local community in my area, joint health care, NHS House, all these UK public bodies, right, employees to claim health and safety, safeguarding and unsafe delivery, so they don't have to fork out for the repairs, so they don't have to fork out for compensation for leaving me unsafe like this for 1 year and over 8 to 9 months now. I've taken it to the Housing Ombudsman National in UK. They're telling me it's going to take 7 months to investigate my complaint. I use stage 1, stage 2 complaint services in this National Housing Company, and they've all been negligent. No, not one admittance. I've required the access to, it's going to take forever to get my housing notes, but they do have limited information of what my needs are ever since 2010, like 2013, when my needs were changed and my medical needs, equipment, okay, and to aid them, just enough information recently, as going back when this first started, July 2017, by the end of the year 2017, June, beginning 2018, and we're here 2019. And then it says there's a certain individuals, I've got a stack of files, emails, saved, paperwork, you name it, to prove the evidence. But you see, despite them still getting all the rent, service charges, I get nothing. Oh, please don't get me wrong. I appreciate roof over my head. And I appreciate the basic things. And that's what I might do at the moment. But this is seriously costing the purse, public purse, more. Because I'm seriously reduction in my health, physically. I'm not going to go into all what's going on. But since I make that call later today, I won't be here. Because it will be assumed that I might need to be checked into hospital to get checked out. And when you're in there, they might be concerned. Individuals, not on a health element eventually maybe, but on the social healthcare in your housing situation. So I'm not afraid of all that, not at all. I used to be extremely concerned, but I'm not anymore. Because if it means I'm going to be in a temporary care environment, so be it. I'm not bothered anymore. That's what they want me to be, you see. They want me to have a fear. They want me to be anxious and all that stuff, psychologically as well. And I won't be, because it's time to move on. And you might say, I've got a secure tenure. but I have to put my health first. So as soon as I can eventually source an independent advocate to sit in on any meetings or anything, but before that I'm still seeking clarification of any evidence of a report claimed in a letter dated 25th of all days, September 2017, by two men I don't even know, one of them. Never visited here, never seen all this. It's assumption, and that's what we're trying to get, at least one copy of a repair report so I could actually have shown previously last year. The social worker is trying to assist me on the adult care, what they call it, the Care Act 2014 assessment needs. And instead, that long document repeatedly was sent to assist them in the housing needs element of the needs assessment. I've still got no, because they see me as a high complex needs, and I see where they're coming from now. They need to get their OTs assessment people in there. And they're only doing that, not on my needs, which it should be. It's only on behalf of Housing Group Limited housing company employees in my area. That's all it's about. That is not the ground, or I'm not ever consented to that particular ground. I've consented, limited. Once they can get access to independent advocate to sit in on such offer of OT assessment, I originally offered for twice, but the last offer was a local hotel in the corner that would meet my needs. I could have a shower, my medical equipment could be there around the corner, literally. I could be there 3 weeks, so they could do all the repairs in here. I even considered a start team in my area, 6 weeks free for the adult healthcare, so they could assess my needs, what I can and cannot do, if they want an update on that, instead of my friends, and then they could do an OT assessment at the same time. And then they could carry out completion of the care needs assessment. And I went to the voiceability advocacy individuals that suggest all that, and guess what happened? The social worker went to the Home Group Limited young individual housing employee. She's not got no clue. I know who that individual is. I dealt with her end of 2017 by emails. And they blocked it. They blocked the funding. And yet I've got evidence of emails to confirm that they were going to pay for my storage, my belongings, by a temporary move out, a secure tender in housing statutory law. That's Housing Statute Law Act 1989 and 1988, Section 11, the Landlord and Tenant Act, and that's secure tender I have. And that's what they know, this housing company knows what my rights are. So when I was informed last August 2018, this social worker claimed that, they found me a 2-bedroom flat in Kettering. The housing benefit, basically, how it works, you're only able to get 1-bedroom flat. And by the way, that's a different district I need to keep into my area at the moment because the changes in universal credit and DWP benefits in UK, how it works, and everything else like that. But yeah, if you move out in a district in a care home, the first 6 or 8 weeks could also affect a change in circumstances. So all of these things, this new offer of a social worker replaced the one that left last year, had no clue on the 23rd 11th 2018 what the hell she was doing. All due respect to the individual, it's her line manager and people above her. They didn't appoint the individual the skills I need in a job to assist me because it's such a high complex situation, and I don't blame them because it is. And that other lady, she had the skills, she wasn't ideal, and the other social advocate I found out, who is now back, I'm going to try and seek, not today, But I'm going to try and see if I can get her back on board because she kicks ass for me. She's really, really good. But she has lots of other people like me to assist and in a job role. And there isn't a service manager in this area that is able to make sure that happens. And I'm too ill right now. I need to dose myself up on some natural fruit and veg and stuff today. My mate's going to do me a smoothie to try and get my lungs, get me detox, get me stable, using herbs and things. Are going to make some smoothie up, green smoothie, because all this is getting into me, my lungs, and making me extremely unwell. So, what I'm left basically now. My area, nationally, it's a crisis. Others too. Adult health social care, it's in crisis. So I'm put at risk because there isn't any funding. When you're high complex in my situation, and thousands of others like myself, the only way you end up in any offer services if you end up in hospital. And then you're on a hospital bed on a social. That's the only reason you're ever going to get any care now in UK if you end up in hospital. And that's all this is going to cost the public purse more because of the negligence of this national housing company. And how can they get away with it when there's homeless people already? This is why UK is in crisis on top. You see, before I got so ill, I took them on single-handedly. And I started getting somewhere before I ended up in an emergency situation. And my daughter-in-law at the time witnessed it. And that was, as I said, with a major stroke heart attack because of all this on my health. And I can see for personal injury. I've got evidence, medical evidence, everything. And to date, it's just, it's dilemma, innit? It's like, do you cut your losses and move on now? Do you just forget it and just move on? But where do I move on? There isn't anywhere to move on. I don't want to be stuck in a hospital bed costing the public purse more. You know, NHS England limited funds all beds for all primary care hospital settings. If you didn't know that, you can investigate. So, Millbrook Healthcare Limited Company, national head office in Southampton, each area towns and cities have this. Wheelchair servers individuals are excellent. They are being brilliant. The staff are brilliant. One of the guys, you go back on his channel, you'll see a video about it. It's a bit odd how he put that application through my door. But he did it out of his own goodness of his heart. And I found out it's housing, what's it called? Housing 21. And I know about the company because years ago, I tried, well, going back a long time, I initially wanted them as my care company to assist me. And my care needs weren't that high then, but they are now. They pulled out because they couldn't cover the hours. And I ended up with a company, Limted Care Service Limited, which is owned by, in my area, Northamptonshire NHS, Northamptonshire, what's it called now? Northamptonshire County Council owns Limted Care Service Limited. It bloody gets complicated. But anyway, when you find out what's meant to happen, and if you go back in start of January 2018, national media in my area, I started finding out the reason why I couldn't get nothing with those of others like me was because of the major cutbacks and the bigger picture behind it all, because they wanted to create 2 unity councils in the area, and that meant everything's reshuffled. Now, the very key good social worker, she left a job, and that's what started the downhill and the problems. Again, October last year. And then that social worker, she went out of way. She wasn't ideal, but it's better than nothing, you know. Then I was left for weeks without a social worker and the holiday, they call it summer breaks. Then there was another week's delay, and it weren't for sheer gut instinct I go into the local post office somehow, I don't know how I did it, on the 6th of the 11th 2018, saw the adult director. She's called Catherine Ainshaw, look it up online. She heads the Adult Health Social Care Department of the County Council in my area. I saw her and her colleague in a public meeting, and I was the only disabled woman there in a wheelchair, only public member there, and I streamed that. I've got a stream on this channel, and I think it's just called a Hampshire County Council. And the date of that I streamed was, as I just said. And in there, I thought, well, blow this. I'm left here waiting, getting ill all the bloody time. And what the hell's going on? So all of those people, so-called borough council, look it up online. There might be minutes about me on there, on their website. It was all about the future, right? And what I'm about to say, it won't be a surprise. I finally found out the reason why. Go with me. Karen, can you get that? That's funny, isn't it? That's right, I have to keep this it's alright, wait this a minute. Post at 2 o'clock in the morning. Was it 2 o'clock now? I didn't realise the time. So damn cold. I'm gonna keep on chat, so bear with me. Yeah, thanks. I'm in credit with my bill, my internet, the only thing I pay for, well, the only thing I can afford to pay for. I knew it was in credit. Oh, it's frustrating. Okay, that's that. Right. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, okay. Catherine Ainshaw, that public meeting, 6/11/2018. Out of all those political people in that meeting, they all meant well. And I said, I should not be left living like this. I was trying to be positive, it's difficult. And I said, I've been left weeks and weeks without a social worker. I don't know what's going on, and the duty of care. And then this is affecting everything in my life. Housing, health, social care, DWP, you name what's going on. How many other people are affected like this? And then I had a very intelligent question, actually. I thought was quite impressive by this public servant, civil servant, political wise. And she said, well, has this affected your PIP? You know? Oh, go back on my channel about that. I'm still going around in circles on that one. And I said, well, I tell you, my experiences of previously in care service limited, how it's appointed to me, I can't even go into all that because the individual's not here. I said to defend themselves. I have evidence, photographs, videos, text messages of the abuse in placement, 3 different ones years ago, how that happened, who was behind it, what happened. I only found that recently, end of last year. I forgot I had these phones, right, and the evidence on them. And then also, because of that, that's how this Olympics Care specialist team was put on to me, and I didn't know, didn't consent, didn't sign nothing. And that's why I was trying to get my own choice of care company on board. And that's when they didn't even uphold the self-direct funding choice I had. And that's when I started getting more abuse of my own. Such things happen, I won't go into right now, it's serious, and that's why I don't consent any of them near me. I don't trust them. the trauma, the physical harm, the mental abuse I have been experiencing previously, a serious multitude. You go on various websites, I want better care. You see what they're trying to do, not just for the elderly. It affects all ages. So of course, it's very, very difficult now because of cutbacks. And that's why only my private friends have been holding on, and they are about to give up. They want to now pull out. We've had a long discussion at the weekend about this. And if they do, they know I'll be in an emergency situation where I'll be rushing to a care home and I won't be getting out there quick. And I'll be in a worse situation, a bigger picture. So we've been trying to work out a backup plan. Excuse me, can you just get me a drink, please? Hold on. Excuse us a minute. It will not be. Oh yeah, could you put the heating on? Anyway, I can't speak up. Got the heater on. Actually, just spun it with the microphone. I mean, my lap thing. Oh, it's so cold, and they're having to put a electric heater on. Oh, eating yogurt at the moment because my glands are so swollen up. Right. Since the injury on the 8th of this month in my right leg, I can't even speak now, good gosh. Oh, I tell you, I'm so ill. my throat and my glands, everything, I tell you. Anyway, well, they're not pulling out right now because we've come up with a backup plan, a temporary measure at the moment, because if I bring up my area, NHS England funded medical practice individuals, they will call out an ambulance about my leg, and that will mean an x-ray in hospital. But then again, I won't get my rest of my immune system and my dental health, everything else that I need help with, sorted either. And then on top, may or may not happen, they will question again this, and I'll say, well, I'm absolutely just concerned about the state I'm left to live like. And I have my luggage yesterday, they went through it again. They need to go through, get a few more bits to put in the suitcases. And when your reduction in your income because the DWP are messed up, the main thing at the moment is electric, the gas, the phone line, of course, the emergency call out thing, and the bare minimum, that's all I've got. And of course, with the specialist dental thing I need, at the moment it's sea salt, it's aloe vera, toothpaste, mouthwash, special thing to keep my dental health. It's so bad, it's really bad. But I can't get the operation until I'm away from all this environment, because I can't recuperate. and I need nursing care after, because it's an operation on my gums, my teeth, on my mouth. I won't be able to talk, and I won't be able to do anything myself. I won't be able to self-care. Well, I can't do that now, but I'll be worse, you know. And that means a nursing care, and that's NHS England. So it's all these different models of funding streams. So as I said, go back to the social worker side. They have a difficult task when they know how it's about prevention. Disabled people to access services. Well, how can they prevent people like me to access services or referrals onto like the long-term team? I know they've done that, prevented me, until they're in their eyes, until you have an OT assessment, right? The problem is, it's not just about an OT assessment. The problem is they have been misinformed on the housing side. So that's why that documents went off to, I don't know how many times. And how, in my area, UK, there's a database, the so-called local government politicians. They've all got these wonderful words and policies, but in reality, ordinary people don't give a shite about how the corrupt system allegedly works. It's just getting the right services you need. And I'm very conscious that I don't add like a burden. I feel a big burden on the system, and I am targeted. I'm a target individual of a magnitude I can't even go into, because you won't even believe half of it. And when they get up your family members, you know, to lie about your situation, to lie about your reality, and how they incorporate all public bloody services, employees involved, especially ones I'm dealing with, to make sure you're pushed into a particular life, division, you know, direction, to make it so impossible to live with your disabilities in this environment. And you can't even get access to home visits by, say, for example, the only two charities I know, and one that help with my benefit situation. Oh, we can't get anyone to visit you, but how the hell do I get out of my sick bed then, to go somewhere? Doesn't, you know? And when I got the dental health, and how the hell do I talk when I'm like this all the bloody time? So that's why the emails, rejection of offer by Citizens Advice in my area, Northamptonshire, to offer a proper, you know, home visit, and then where do you source individual to sit in on such meetings again? And unfortunately I'm going around in circles, because they will look at this environment I'm in and they will have to do an adult safeguarding referral. Every bloody thing I'm dealing with is going to always end up like that. But it's not my fault. It's not my friend's fault. It's not me. It's the bloody system. It's back to the housing disrepair. That's what started it all. And I cannot even comprehend how many letters, emails, everything I tried to do before I got so ill. And now if I contact personal injury lawyer, they too won't want to take this on, because it's too complex. And when it turns into such a complexity situation now, nobody wants to help. So you feel like you're targeted. I know in reality the word target individuals means different things to different people, but I'm talking about trying to access services. I'm being blocked because it's a funding issue. It's a system where you're too complex for our case. You're too complex for us. We've got easier situations and cases to deal with, which is straightforward. Mine isn't. So that's why I look at natural remedies at the moment, and that's why I struggle and make do with what I've got. So the challenge is now this week is to how to use a slow cooker. I can't use it obviously in the ingredients to keep stews, you know, and then just do one big pot on the slow cooker and then you know, freeze it or store it, and that's my supply. And that's what, in about an hour, if my leg can sustain it, my body, they're going to help me trying to get out, just up the road, to get the basic things and get home again. And then if my leg is still the way it is, I will be calling the out of hours if I'm not missed the time for my doctors, because my bone is a fragment, my friends believe there's a crack on my bone, and this leg is not healed and it needs examination. So it looks like at my age I'll be ending up in their system, the hospital, that way route. And that's why my mates are trying to get a few things stocked up in my luggage, because it might be that position where we can't let you home, you can't have an unsafe discharge, and they might neutralise the use situation where, we believe try and push the OT side on me while I'm in hospital and all that. And that means what happens? They want your consent to give your house keys, and it doesn't matter anymore. I've got nothing to lose. I'm not bothered about all that anymore. I was at first, when I ended up in hospital 2017, and then again in September 2018. I was. But now I've had a chance to read up about it and know how it all works. I'm not bothered about it. I am bothered who comes in my private dwelling. But the fact is, what's going to happen tomorrow is going to happen. And it's just a part of life. And you cannot predict what's not happened yet, but you cannot also, it's very troubling, yes, I cannot let the past affect me now, because it will dwindle. The targeting situation and what's happening won't stop. It will carry on and it will get worse, because nationally, well, thousands of others are going through worse. Yeah, absolutely worse. You think this is something? No, worse than I. So the legacy of my late mum, for example, I know what she went through in so many different areas, and how she was struggling to get through before I ended up getting ill myself. So she's given me that, I don't know, I've just observed things really, and know things, just come across it by life experiences, and realise, having a discussion yesterday, as I said, with my private friends, and knowing the fact that this housing company will not do anything about all this. They will never, ever do anything. They won't pay for me to move to my choice of location, which does meet my needs, which I said I offered twice now, and they rejected. It doesn't take the Housing Ombudsman Service and Statutory Services 7 months to investigate a lawful complaint about the major disrepair or not repairing this. I was informed in last July, it's a year ago, before that, July 2018, correction dates. July and August 2017, it would take a 3-day job for that side, that and that. But I didn't know the walls are standard. It's not a wet room. Anyway, I'm not going to get hanged up about it, because that's what it will drag your psychological mental health well down if you get it really does. All this will just really will drag you down, and that's what it did to me in 2017 as well. And I've learnt a lot from good people in their job roles, and I've always had a history of like apprehension. It's just because when you go through trauma in life, you know, in situations, I know about certain things, and when you become awakened up to subjects over years, and then sometimes you have to stop, sit back, think, trust your gut on things, and just whatever life's going to take its next journey. And, you know, and sometimes the system, I call it the system, is so crumbling. And my mum's always been, for many years when I was a young girl, so extremely resourceful, and that's luckily. I don't need to buy new gadgets, I don't need to buy new curtains, I make do. And my friends have learned how to do sewing by hand. And it's only because I learned the skills, and I was before my health went and my throat and my teeth and stuff, I was able to describe how to do things, stitching, and I used to be extremely good at needlework when I was younger, and I just remembered all these skills. So I was able to teach my friends, and they were able to patch things up, and I don't think you can hear the noise campaign around here. But anyway, I'm just know that these able-bodied people living in these flats around where I am, there's a lot of these individuals around here, unfortunately, whatever reason, they are so single-minded and up one consideration for another. And I don't know if anyone else senses that. So it's about basic food, basic standard of living, basic human rights. Do you sense that's been prevented, stopped? You know, from the state system, United Kingdom? Do you sense any gut feeling on that? Do you trust your gut feeling when things are being cut to the bone? These were two dependent females I know work two different places, and they were telling me about their mums and their own two separate individuals, but saying exactly the same thing of their mums' experiences in hospitals. And this was like since the end of last year and beginning of January 2019 now. And how the only way they could get care is when they end up in hospital. So unfortunately, I do not want to end up there just to get what I need. So I'm trying to prevent that natural health wise at the moment. So I'm just making this stream in this afternoon what it's like. This is a lower ground floor. This is a street. Right outside that window is a slant garden, right slanted downwards. So this flooring is right underneath the main road. So whatever structure under the main road outside in this area, United Kingdom, right? The water, surface water comes off, and this is what this guy in Northants Flooring Limited said to me. Two excellent employees, by the way, shout out to that company because they gave me that information I didn't know about. On that corner where you see that drain on that concrete floor, so-called level access shower area, right, this is a party wall to the main communal door, and it's like it's meant to be a wheelchair access. It's crap, the surrounding area. Anyway, the drain for the surface water outside by the main communal door entry is party to this drainage where that water goes down. So when the drain outside gets flooded in snow, water or covered with leaves, it affects my drainage in here. That was the opinion of a couple of these individuals. And when the surface water affects the soil outside this baseline where the tiles are, this is what they tried to explain to me. I'm not technically minded, by the way. Over where the water was coming from the shower behind that net curtain there, coming into the drainage, and because of the level height of that black rubber ceiling was not protecting how the water was running down underneath, because that height, that black water seal plastic, the cover of the flooring was slightly higher than that, but it wasn't a specific. The regulations all these years on has changed, so it wasn't safe. It wasn't done right initially. I didn't know this. So was all this covered up before they let this place out to me? I don't know. I haven't got the evidence, proof of that. It's just alleged. But they said they'd never seen such water damage and water leak in this environment before. And they explained in their opinion what could have been causing it, because they're specialists in flooring. So they were hired on behalf of Mighty Property Services Limited by a Home Group Limited to come and assess this. And all it started off was a little split with the lino flooring in the middle, where I'm showing you, pointing the camera now. And I couldn't even, I was stunned. I mean, I was in shock when they lifted up the flooring, how black underneath this wood is. And when I was left without a covering until I made the call and said, hold on. The previous last lot of people that came out on behalf of Home Group Limited employees failed to put a safe covering on the floor. But ever since then, as you can see, it's split. I mean, I can't zoom in as much because I'm trying to. It's split much deeper than wood. And I go back to the Russian friend of mine. He said all of this wood to do the works would cost £600 for the materials, and could have been done. The problem is, because it's in the eyes of Home Group Limited, class as a wet room, well now they're calling it bathroom by the way, the past year, it would be alright to do the woodwork, because that would be okay, but this basin, this toilet basin's cracked, and the ceiling, special seal around it, all need to come out. And then there's the question of taking out the sink, taking out the toilet. I can't be here when they have it done, because I won't have access to the basic sanitary. So my carers can't change my specialist aid I need to use all the time into the toilet for sanitary reasons. Or they also couldn't put a plank of wood to be safe to walk on to empty it there and stuff. So that they claimed I couldn't be here for work to be done. That's why I offered. My choice was a Blackpool hotel. Disability needs, medical equipment, you name it, they cater for everything. It's at my area, but I could be there for like a holiday hotel, it's built like, and that's what I offered to move to. Door-to-door service, you name it, and everything. I was rejected that funding to go there. I offered that last October 2017, Home Group Limited refused that, rejected that offer. So I was left still like this and no further on. Then that's when I ended up in hospital. That's when I had that letter. I said, hold on, if you want to gut all this out, it's a major works. It's this disability facility grant issue. So I went down that angle, and I found out by the end of 2017 it wasn't a funding issue. And they had a duty of care. I started learning about that. Then I saw evidence of the reports, so I could go to source 3 quotes of different bathroom companies and to do a wet room for me, and then I could go to the Borough Council to get the OT out, to get assessment of all this, and then start all the process off. I found out it wasn't that. They've got the funding to do all this. So they kept putting blocks in the way. Then, as I said last year, I offered twice the different places to move to, and one I found round the corner, as I said, would meet my needs, and they even blocked that. They don't want me living here. They've got no ground to move me, but they can go to the Kango Court and seek possession on the ledge of major works. So that's why I'm left in the dilemma right now. no further afield. All of 1 year and 8 months on. And I'm seriously ill because of all this. And they don't care. And that's why I'm target by the bloody system and their cronies. I can't even tell you how that might sound to individuals seeing this video, but I tell you, would anybody put up with this? Would you put up with this with your loved ones? And then you up there, you public servants, you peace officers, you civil servants, you public servants out there, public, paid for, you really think I like doing a video of their vehicle? Do you really like the fact that I know what I know? And I don't speak about what I know. I'll keep it to myself. Did you think you're sick, key linked up to others I know about in my area, to target me when I'm left like this and thousands of others? I only do things like this, showing what's going on in reality. There's nothing against any individual man or woman. It's policy. It's national changes and policies. You can't just get rid of people just because of a reduction in their health, the disability. Do you think I'll be living like this if I had my health tomorrow? Do you think I don't know when they keep the lights on in the hallway 24 hours a day outside the corridor? I know what's behind that, by the way, and not on the other 2 block of flats, floors above me. I've got evidence of that. I go on facts. I don't go on BS. I go on evidence. And I've always done my honourable thing. I haven't been an angel in my past. I've not done anything unlawful. It's just I used to be a different character. But they've gone out their way to target my character, to label me throughout the community, through my family, through ways and things. It's a load of sad, evil individuals who have no decency about themselves, and they are connected to my elder brother. I have to, in my own heart of heart, to forgive them for the sake of my late mum. She wouldn't want me to have any hatred for anyone, and I don't. I forgive those that transgress against me. I never used to be like this, by the way. I've had to learn to forgive those that's harmed me, and I will keep doing that. So whatever you keep doing, and I've got videos and evidence of what's been going on, by the way, just because you have so much goes on in, say, like trauma related as a kid growing up, certain things happen in your life, and all this is interlinked. It's all interlinked, the bigger picture of it all. But a lot of good, honest, ordinary, everyday people don't realise that you have one situation, it leads on to another, and another, and another. It wears you down. You don't know about meditation. You don't know about your inner strength. You don't know when to rest. You don't know when to take it one thing at a time. It is a big struggle. But look, it takes 1 minute, one thing at a time to get through what you are going through. And yes, I now know it's not just me. I know now it's not just the frontline employees. It's bigger than this, what's causing things to me. It's the national change in ways I've never, ever thought could happen, but it is. So you lose the fear. You don't forget. Of course not. You lose the fear. So whatever you're planning tomorrow, whether you're planning the next hour or two, be true to yourself and your loved ones. I can't ever see my grandchildren again. I never have a relationship with my adult silent daughter again. I know why and who's behind that. But I know they will get on and carry on, and I'm going to concentrate on me. This physical body might be just wearing out, but it doesn't stop my spiritual energy moving on. And for those many thousands of you going through just as much, my thoughts and prayers are with you, even though I don't know you. For all those frontline employees in the state system, what you're trying to do, just as people like I, be aware, if you are able to, if you have the heart to, your neighbours, those that are not able to get out in snow and ice and all this weather, are able and stranded at home and struggling. Be careful. I know you have to be careful with, who you are, introduce yourself and stuff. If you are members of these clubs and whatever you want to do, just be honourable. It is difficult. Those black sheep and negative energy in individuals. And what's the point? What's the point being like that? When this planet, we're all going through different things in different ways. I never expected things to happen the way they have in my life. But one good thing, my DNA and my mum, what she's brought and taught me, I appreciate now, didn't appreciate years ago. It's just making do and carrying on and treating people the way they treat me. And I will do my best and be honourable. But I will not allow anyone to tread on me, to walk all over my God-given rights I'm naturally born with. And I will, when I'm able to, raise the issues some people don't have the ability to, only in honour to assist others. God bless everybody. I'm not just pity me stream video, it's raising awareness of reality. 2008, sorry, I keep saying 2018, 2019, disabled individuals surviving